Welcome back, everybody, to Beyond the Draft, the latest edition of our summertime really extravaganza that we're doing. We broke into the world of video, and now you have to see our faces. Not only do you have to see them once a week, although some of you are choosing to do it, and others of you are just family that we're begging to watch. Anyway, Erik Pesolano is here. EP,
yes, he is. I'm doing good. Good to be back. We've got a lot on the docket here today. We were going over our notes about what we're going to talk about, so probably shouldn't waste any more time talking about us because we're irrelevant.
Yeah, no one cares about us. But you know what people do care about? Barbecue food, Erik.
Oh,
barbecue food.
Oh my God.
So excited. It was announced, it feels like 2 weeks ago at this point by the time we're releasing this, but it was announced that the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree will be taking over what was previously known as Hungry Bear Restaurant. Not super themed. They're like, oh, it's going to be inspired by the country. They're not going to knock anything down. They're going to hang a couple of pictures more than what they already had. Apparently, they're going to be playing the Country Bear Jamboree music, which is going to be cool. But the most important thing, EP, is that barbecue is back on the menu.
Yeah, literally nothing else matters. Look, just give me all the barbecue. I know we lost Big Thunder Ranch, so we didn't have any barbecue food in Disneyland. This is going to bring it back.
But Bengal barbecue, no, that's not no. You know what we're talking about.
And Bengal barbecue is wonderfully delicious.
The greatest. I love it. But
we're talking more about your Kansas City, your St. Louis, your North Carolina,
yes sir,
Texas, all that type of barbecue. Give me them ribs. There better be ribs. This may be a polarizing topic, but when I go to Florida, I eat at Flame Tree Barbecue at Animal Kingdom every single time. And I don't know a lot of people that do, but I literally go there just because it's barbecue and I get everything I possibly can.
Yeah, it's good food over there. I don't eat at Animal Kingdom because I don't want to see the animals while I'm eating. I'm just kidding. I do not care. I will happily walk out with a turkey leg.
I know there's other barbecue places around the resort and people are going to get on my case about things, but look,
there are a lot. I'm holding back.
But... Yeah, I know you are, but I haven't been there, so that's my in-park go-to because I'm usually in the parks most of the time.
I think usually, well, I was going to say, I mean, you got Tiffin's and you got Yak and Yeti and Tusker House, but I don't know if there's a place that I usually go for quick service at. Is Flame Tree even quick service? Is that?
Yeah, it's
okay. It is quick service. Yeah. So I don't really know if there's like a regular quick service. It used to be Restaurantosaurus, the McDonald's, but that was textbook. You were there. Like that's where we ate when we went to AK, but not this time. But regardless, excited though that this is gonna. I really do think this Hungry Bear's already been good, and the only sad part about this is I think Hungry Bear had the best cheeseburger of the just kind of burger and fries shops. And I know they're probably all the same. And maybe I just hate Galactic Grill because of my horror stories of working in Tomorrowland. But I always thought the Hungry Bear was the best burger. So I'm kind of bummed on that. But boy, did I get over it quick when they said barbecue.
Yeah,
it's going to be great.
You talk about your horror stories in Tomorrowland. When I was in Fantasyland, I loved Red Rose.
Yeah, Red Rose is good.
Those burgers over there were pretty fantastic. But you're right. They probably just had a couple different ingredients between them all, but it was the same burger.
There's a little extra salt on one, and
and
that's how we judge it for some reason. Oh boy, why do we do cards on the table? This is right after lunch. I had a mediocre lunch today, now we're talking about barbecue.
I haven't had lunch yet. I was a late bloomer today, as we're gonna put it lightly. I might go get barbecue after we're done.
I would not blame you.
Yeah,
I would not blame you.
It's gonna be one of those days where I drop like $75 for no good reason just to go get some barbecue.
That is a good reason. Yeah. That's what I'll say. We'll talk about financial problems another time. Anyway, but Erik, in the world today, but I mean, we've had so much news in the last 2 weeks.
It's been a busy few weeks.
There have been a lot of things that have gone on.
And we tend to stay away from those things, which we are going to stay away from here too. But
no.
I see where you're going with this.
Let me drive the car, Erik. Jeez. Regardless, when a big event happens,
Yeah,
Some people might doubt the validity of some of the truth that comes out and all
that's
that kind
correct.
of
Right,
stuff,
right.
and they would create what we call a conspiracy theory.
Yes,
I have a conspiracy theory that I think I brought up to you, and you were like, "Hey, we should talk about that on the show."
yes.
Because
People
why
are
not?
getting nervous right now, by the way.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. So anyway, when they were up on the perch, no, the real question is the real question, and it came out, there was an article and it was about the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels, who, if you didn't know, Angel Stadium's right down the street from Disneyland. The reason Angel Stadium's there is because Disneyland was popular, and there was a little bit of a growing of the city of Anaheim. So the original owner of the Angels, Gene Autry, decided to plop them in Anaheim. And
Mhm,
then comes the Anaheim Ducks, and at the end that time it was the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, and all the stuff that has grown because of Disneyland.
mhm.
But at the time of, for those of you who don't know, the Angels have an owner. No one likes him, but he was ready to sell the team about 2 years ago,
Mhm.
and everyone was excited. And then there was collusion with the mayor of Anaheim, which is awesome. Terrible, obviously, but it came out that the mayor of Anaheim had given Artie Moreno confidential info about the growth of the city of Anaheim in the coming years, and that he was going to use that to his advantage in the selling and all. Whatever. None of this came to be. The city of Anaheim's mayor is, I'm pretty sure, behind bars or somewhere else, that he's never going to be the mayor
Yeah,
again.
he's
There's a
not
lot
mayor
going on.
anymore.
But Erik, do you think, and everybody's like, why are we talking about this on Drafting the Magic? Do you think there's a possibility that Disneyland Forward was the information that Artie Moreno was given?
I think you think that.
100% do. That's why I'm asking you,
I have
because I
well,
want your
I
opinion.
haven't I haven't looked too deep into this like as much as you have looked into it, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
think I can make an
All right.
informed
Well,
opinion.
all right. Fair
But
enough.
what I will say is I wouldn't doubt it.
I will
Because
say it came out right around, this whole thing came out right around when Disneyland Forward was announced, or at least the selling prospects were, and so it's like, okay, is there a chance that they were using Disney as the marketing chip? I don't think the Angels needed to do that. I don't think they needed the marketing chip at the time. They had the most popular player on the planet. Probably should have sold back then, but we're not going to talk about my opinions on the Angels right now.
that's a
But
whole nother show.
I am very curious as to if Disney might have been that growth. I mean, what else is Anaheim growing with? OC
Well, I
Vibe,
mean, OC Vibe is probably a big one because it was going to be right next door to him.
sure.
But how many times in the past have we heard plans of the Disneyland Resort connecting to both Honda Center and Angel Stadium?
That's true.
And with now that these big planned projects are starting to actually come to fruition, I wouldn't doubt that that was part of the discussion that was given because now everything's been announced and we know what's coming. The interesting part to me is like, was it really that confidential in the landscape of those who do business with the city? Like,
sure, yeah.
some of these people had to have known what was coming.
Oh yeah, I would think that at least a few knew. I'm sure when OC Vibe was first discussed with the Anaheim Ducks and Honda Center and all the ownership there, I'm sure that was like, oh, that Disney's going to do a big thing over here too. And then they were like, well, what if we held D23 at Honda Center? I know we talked about that last time,
Yeah.
but like I'm very curious as to what they do know, what they don't know, who knows what. But just when I heard that there was confidential info shared about the growth of the city, I'm like, that's Disneyland, I think.
Could you imagine that city? They're already going to have OC Vibe and Disneyland Forward going on simultaneously, but had Artie's project gone through,
Nuts.
that almost the entire city would have been under construction at one
Yeah.
time.
And an insane amount of jobs would have been created in all of this. And I still think there's something that will happen. I think that the Angels will figure something out and they'll still build something around their stadium. But
yeah, they can't keep it the way it is.
At the same time, how many entertainment areas can you have in a city before they start looking like the Garden Walk?
Well,
Like, I don't know.
I don't think it would look like that, nor do I think it would end up like that. But for all we know, the Garden Walk's days are probably numbered.
Disney needs to buy that so bad. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Bridges. Build some bridges. Build
I mean,
some bridges.
even downtown Anaheim is doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You and I are down there every now and again,
Mhm.
and especially on Friday nights or
It's
Saturdays
popping.
when we're covering hockey. And it's there's some, they still do parades over there and festivals. And, I
Christmas
mean,
tree lightings and Halloween
yeah,
tree lightings and
every corner of the city is thriving for the most part. And it's only going to get better once all this stuff is done. It's gonna take some time, and it's gonna take some pain as far as navigating the city. And and people who love going to concerts at Honda Center are gonna have to deal
yeah.
with that mess over there for a while. And then once Disneyland starts breaking ground on Disneyland Forward, navigating that resort is not going to be easy. Not that it's the easiest in the world right now, but that's going to complicate things even more. But once it's all done, it's going to be as smooth as it's ever been.
Every corner of that city is thriving except Orangewood and Catella, where the Angel Stadium is and everything else, regardless.
I'm sure they're making money. You're talking wins and losses, but I'm sure they're making money.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Whatever. Fine.
I think you think that.
100% do. That's why I'm asking you.
I
want your opinion.
I haven't looked too deep into this, like as much as you have looked into it, so I don't think I can make an informed opinion.
All right, fair enough.
What I will say is I wouldn't doubt it.
I will say it came out right around, this whole thing came out right around when Disneyland Forward was announced, or at least the selling prospects were. And so it's like, okay, is there a chance that they were using Disney as the marketing chip? I don't think the Angels needed to do that. I don't think they needed the marketing chip at the time. They had the most popular player on the planet. Probably should have sold back then, but we're not going to talk about my opinions on the Angels right now.
That's a whole other show.
I am very curious as to if Disney might have been that growth. I mean, what else is Anaheim growing with? OC
Well,
Vibe.
I mean, OC Vibe is probably a big one because it was going to be right next door to him.
Sure.
But how many times in the past have we heard plans of the Disneyland Resort connecting to both Honda Center and Angel Stadium?
That's true.
And with now that these big planned projects are starting to actually come to fruition, I wouldn't doubt that was part of the discussion that was given, because now everything's been announced and we know what's coming. The interesting part to me is, like, was it really that confidential in the landscape of those who do business with the city? Like,
sure, yeah.
Some of these people had to have known what was coming.
Oh yeah, I would think that. At least a few knew. I'm sure when OC Vibe was first discussed with the Anaheim Ducks and Honda Center and all the ownership there, I'm sure that was like, oh, that Disney's going to do a big thing over here too. And then they were like, well, what if we held D23 at Honda Center? I know we talked about that last time.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm very curious as to what they do know, what they don't know, who knows what. But just when I heard that there was confidential info shared about the growth of the city, I'm like, that's Disneyland, I think.
Could you imagine that city? They're already going to have OC Vibe and Disneyland Forward going on simultaneously, but had Artie's project gone through,
nuts,
that almost the entire city would have been under construction at one time.
Yeah, and an insane amount of jobs would have been created in all of this. And I still think there's something that will happen. I think that the Angels will figure something out and they'll still build something around their stadium. But at the same time,
the way it is.
At the same time, how many entertainment areas can you have in a city before they start looking like the Garden Walk?
Well,
like, I don't know.
I don't think it would look like that, nor do I think it would end up like that. But for all we know, the Garden Walk's days are probably numbered.
Disney needs to buy that so bad. Oh my gosh. Bridges. Build some bridges. Build some bridges.
Even downtown Anaheim is doing okay.
Yeah.
You and I are down there every now and again, especially on Friday nights or Saturdays
it's popping
when we're covering hockey, and it's there's some. They still do parades over there and festivals, and,
Christmas tree lightings and Halloween tree lightings, and
every corner of the city is thriving for the most part. And it's only going to get better once all this stuff is done. It's gonna take some time, and it's gonna take some pain as far as navigating the city, and and people who love going to concerts at Honda Center are gonna have to deal with that mess over there for a while. And then once Disneyland starts breaking ground on Disneyland Forward, navigating that resort is not going to be easy. Not that it's the easiest in the world right now, but that's going to complicate things even more. But once it's all done, it's going to be as smooth as it's ever been.
Every corner of that city is thriving except Orangewood and Catella, where the Angel Stadium is, and everything else, regardless.
I'm sure they're making money. You're talking wins and losses, but I'm sure they're making money.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. The other thing, Eric, I like to read the tea leaves, as it were. And
I feel like this one holds more water than the last one.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I was at the Disneyland Resort. We were at the parks last week, and somebody changed their profile picture on Facebook, and I freaked out about it. Nobody else seemed to be doing that. But if you look at the Cars Facebook profile, it now is the Cars emblem that, was from the first movie. But I was like, well, that's really weird. Why would they just change it to that now? That's okay. What was it? And so then I scrolled to the left, and it was Cars on the Road, one of my kids' favorite shows. Little shorts about Lightning and Mater. Like, okay, let's see how often they've changed their profile picture.
You went down the rabbit hole real quick there, didn't you?
Scroll real fast. The last time they changed their profile picture from the Cars on the Road logo to just the Cars logo was 2 weeks before Cars 3 was announced at D23. Eric, we're getting Cars 4.
Look, like I said, I think this theory holds more water than your other one. I don't have any experience with the social media department at the studios, obviously, but they keep content calendars. Everybody does. It's not hard to figure out that they could just go back. Hey, what did we do last time? It's like a little Easter egg type thing, and figure out if we change it back to this logo on this date. What are we? 2.5 weeks out now?
Yeah, we're pretty close. We are pretty close. And all I'm saying is, Eric, and I texted you this. I was like, if you're a betting man,
I am now.
You bet. I know you are. That's why I was trying to bring that up. Regardless, if you're a betting man, bet the house on Cars 4 being announced.
Maybe not the house.
I would bet the house, the car.
Wow.
The
the car. Home. I see what you did there, because
we're moving on.
Cars.
Okay. But I no, and so that led me to think, and we didn't really talk about this on our last episode when we talked about D23. You and I are always attractions minded. We were thinking theme parks, but there are major other portions of D23. There's major other portions of this company that we talk about, and so the question is, what other things for or not, and well, it could be animated, but what other studios announcements do you think we could get? And do you think any will blow our minds? I don't think Cars 4 is a blow your mind, right? That is they're probably going to do it. They did 3 of them already. Yeah. Like, it's not crazy to say we're doing a 4th. Do you think we're going to get any shocking info?
Well, if anything is shocking, it would probably have to be a sequel, right? Or a prequel.
True.
If it's something original, it's not really going to blow our minds because we don't know about it. Right? There's probably no connection there. Live action things, live action doesn't blow my mind. I don't think it blows the public's mind. I think, like you said, you saw Beauty and the Beast, right? And you were pleasantly surprised by it. And you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But when it was announced, I can't imagine you were like, whoa, we got to go see that. It just kind of, you just kind of went and saw it when you could.
Yeah.
The next Incredibles movie would have me jumping off my seat. I don't think that
3, huh?
I don't think we're gonna get it this soon.
Okay.
We're gonna get it. I don't think we're going to get it this soon. But as far as shocking, yes, that would shock me.
Okay. All right.
On a spot here, and I got to think what else could we possibly see. But there's been some. I know Frozen 3 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that would shock me.
No.
Really, timing has to do with a lot of these things.
Very true.
Disney's kind of laid out what is coming, right? But we just don't know when.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the ones that we've heard that are going to be announced, Cars 4 would, to me, be a shocking thing.
Okay.
I think. Yeah. What about you?
I have two shocking thoughts.
Okay.
Cars 4 is not one of them because I've already figured it out, so I'm not surprised anymore.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be surprised.
Duh. Number one is an animated film.
Okay.
Get the band back together. I know one of them have passed away. At least one, possibly more than one. Bugs Life 2 being announced at D23 2024. Almost a 0% chance. That would shock the world. Bring it to me, please. And then it would be so successful. You want to build a whole theme park land around it. You're going to put bumper cars there. You're going to put a little choo-choo train there. Oh, it's going to be amazing. But
they should have hired you to create these things.
Oh, man. Yeah, well,
yeah.
If only we could jump in a time machine. The other thing that I think could be a shocking announcement. There was a lot of pull recently for a certain actor to return to the helm of a franchise. Could we get a Pirates of the Caribbean 6 with Johnny Depp announced at D23? There would be a lot of people holding secrets to that, right? Like that would be one that they've had to, they had NDAs that they were serious about if they were able to pull this off.
Yeah.
But man, that would be a shock to me if they're able to pull that off.
Might be a little soon for that. I think it will happen. I will give you that. I think it will happen. There's too much money to be made on both sides.
Well, you say it might be too soon. You're still 2 years away from the movie being released. Is it too soon to start thinking about it, saying we've signed a contract, such like that?
Yeah, because I don't think there's a contract.
That's fair. All right.
I think the relationship repair
still needs some time.
Still needs some time. But I definitely think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's things that happen behind the scenes that we're unaware of.
Yeah.
I think the relationship can be fixed. And I think the movie will happen.
Just not yet.
Just not yet. Maybe I wouldn't even. The problem is the next D23, right? Is 2 years. It's every 2 years. Is the 2 year gap in between too long? Like, would they have to announce it at like Comic-Con or something?
Yeah, maybe.
And I don't think that's something they would want to.
Whatever. Fine.
No. See, now I'm like talking myself out of it.
Yeah. Well, Eric, I thought it would be a good idea to ask the people what they would like to see, a sequel of sorts. So that was actually the question of the day. Was what sequel or prequel do you want to see? Jay Blossom says Treasure Planet sequel. I was never a Treasure Planet guy. I'm going to be honest. So I don't know. Were you a Treasure Planet guy?
I've never seen it. No.
All right.
I know it's got its cult following. So
yep.
That if they do something like that, that would probably be a Disney Plus exclusive.
Yeah. Carly Youssef 626. It's in the name. 626. I'm kidding. She didn't say that. Princess and the Frog getting a sequel.
Yeah, that's gonna
would be a heck of a time to do that. After the release of new attractions or rethemed attractions. Cole S. Heron is calling for the much anticipated, much wanted National Treasure 3. Give me Nick Cage back in the business.
I know you love that franchise.
I loved that franchise so much.
Yeah.
That was the best. Boston Native 57.
Who could that be?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he was thinking, but he said sequel. So he wants to see a sequel of something. I don't know what it is, but he wants to see a sequel. So good on you.
Well, I mean, the question you asked did say...
I suppose sequel or prequel. He said sequel.
Read like an option.
Bold as Love 1987, friend of the show, our buddy Dustin. says The Rocketeer needs a sequel. It does have a kind of a cult following, but I don't know if it's ready for. I don't know if it's ready. I don't think they'll ever get to a point where they do a sequel. I don't know. I don't think that's got as much buzz as a couple of older franchises.
That reads like a nostalgia piece for those in our generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outnumbered. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't think it would happen either. But watch it get announced, and that'll be our shock for the week.
Outnumbered 5.2.1 gave the answer that I'm going to be honest, outnumbered 5.2.1. I don't like it, and I don't think Eric's going to like it either. Wally to get a sequel or a prequel. Nah.
I didn't mind Wally.
I think they already saved the world, didn't they? Like,
remember how I mentioned it should have its own attraction in Tomorrowland somewhere? Mm-hmm. I didn't mind Wally. It's not one of my favorites, but
it wasn't great.
It was. I will tell you, it had a wildly different feel than any other Pixar movie.
Yeah. That's because there was no dialogue in the first hour and a half.
Well, and I remember the marketing for it leading up. Like, you had no idea.
Yeah.
That they were going to end up on a ship in space with everybody not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like just being shuttled around. And I'm sure there was a social message in there as well.
A little bit.
Like,
whatever.
Get off your. Anyway,
get off your cut. Okay.
All right.
Amber Kelly 21 says, I would love an Ursula origin story.
Oh, that's
live action. Do you go
that sounds
do you go
like,
animated? But it wouldn't be a terrible thing.
Live action to me.
Interesting.
Because that would almost have the Maleficent vibe.
Yeah. Itty Bitty Collects says, which I believe first time caller. Good to hear from you. Long time listener, first time caller. Peter Pan prequel, which would be interesting to do nowadays.
Ooh, how could you do that one?
Yeah, I think you almost have to go live action.
Yeah,
I don't know. Wouldn't be a bad idea though. Most of these aren't bad ideas, except for Wally. So I'm just kidding.
All right.
Anyway,
and our viewer count just went down.
I'm sorry. Yep, now it's down to 3. Hannah Hensey, who was on our show back in the day, she did Epcot. What was that? Epcot shows, I think it was. Or no, it was just Walt Disney World shows. Whatever it was. Who knows? Says, I'm going to need an Inside Out 3 and maybe 4. We just need to follow Riley's whole life. I can almost bet on that.
I would think. Yeah, that's a pretty safe bet.
That's a very safe bet.
4.
I think we're going to see Riley till she dies, man.
Jeez. Wow, that got dark. 3 definitely. 4 depends
likely.
on
I would say likely
how the studios are doing at that point.
I would say likely as of now.
I would put it as likely as well. Yes.
And then our buddy Stephen Toff, who was not only great at trivia, but possibly gave my favorite answer to this question. New season of Imagineering.
Oh, I've been waiting. Like, I check every day just in case I miss something.
We call it Imagineering, one of the best shows that Disney ever did on Disney Plus. And the only problem is they did it all at once. And I mean, over a 5-week span or whatever. And there are no more.
They said they were going to release like little episodes on YouTube, right? And we got like 2.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've seen it since. Maybe I've missed it.
Because everyone hated Tiana's. They were like, stop showing us this. We don't want to see it.
Well, it hadn't been released yet.
It was just a Tiana's hype system. That's all it was. Which I haven't been on it yet. I can't hate it yet. I mean, I can have my opinions on what I've seen on a video, but I can't hate it yet. And if you haven't been on it, I don't think you can hate it either.
Apparently, if you board it and then the next time it stops is when you get back to unload, it was a successful.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's been a lot of chaos over there, Eric. But you know where there's been more chaos?
Where's that?
Disney California Adventure.
Oh, is that right?
Because the Merc with a mouth is in Avengers Campus. Deadpool is taking over Disney California Adventure, as was announced on, what was that, Tuesday? No, it was Tuesday, the 23rd that they announced that. Yeah. I'm pretending like that's not today's date and that we aren't recording today. Regardless, oh my gosh, Eric, ahead of Deadpool and Wolverine dropping on Thursday night, they announced that Deadpool will be making his way to not only Disneyland Paris on their Avengers Campus, but also the Disneyland Resort, Disney California Adventure getting Deadpool and all I want to know is on a scale of 1 to 10, what are the chances, or I guess on a chance, on percent, what are the chances that he has audio built into his suit and that there's beeping over words that he's not supposed to say at Disneyland? Because that's what I would love to see.
That would be hilarious.
I would die laughing. I can't even explain it.
And in no way is that going to happen.
Zero chance.
My question to you is, the characters usually get their announcement on social media the day the movie releases.
Mm-hmm.
Why was Deadpool announced 2 days early, 3 days early?
Well, so they said that he's starting in Disneyland Paris on the 24th, which would be the day after Wednesday. Probably the day we release this. We don't know yet. We'll see. Regardless.
Well, here's my prediction. His buddy's going to join him.
Oh.
And they didn't want to announce it on the same day.
Whoa.
That's my guess. It has to, right?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I was actually wondering, I was like, so what about Wolverine? But I didn't think that might be in the cards. Holy smokes, bring it so bad. Bring it.
It has to.
That'd be amazing, first off. But I will, just focusing on Deadpool, the photo shoot they did around Disney California Adventure. A+ to the marketing team. And that would not work for any other Marvel character. It wouldn't be funny if Thor was in Animation Academy.
Right.
Or if Thor was looking at the Mickey pretzels or Mickey sourdough bread at the fact that they did that with Deadpool, fantastic.
Yeah, because the personality matches, right? Yeah. It's
just
like
so good.
When they did the Vader commercial years ago, that worked because it's completely the opposite of Vader, where in this case, Deadpool would definitely spend a day at Disneyland completely in costume.
It was honestly some of the best marketing I've seen in a long time for them. And it was just pictures, but good on them for getting that done. Although I did notice, and here's a question for you, I guess, in a quick thought. You didn't see any, unless I'm completely misremembering, you didn't see any crossover between IP there. So Mickey's in the background of on the Ferris wheel on whatever Pixar pal around, roll around, try not to die on it, whatever it's called now. But like Deadpool didn't go to Cars Land. Deadpool wasn't on Monsters Inc.
It was intentional.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. It'd be so much fun. Anyway.
Some of that stuff they will always keep separate.
Do you think that is a Pixar wouldn't let them? Or the Pixar branch of the company says, no, don't do that? Or do they not even go towards it?
I don't think they even went towards it. I think they know when you can cross things over and when not to, when you try to keep those brands separate. The only time you see those things like together is like when they do, like a collage of characters on something.
That's true.
But they're never gonna cross over things like that, especially in the theme parks. So I don't even think they asked the question. Well, I'm sure they asked the question in their planning meetings, but I'm sure it was struck down pretty quickly.
That's true. Well,
yeah.
Oh, well. All right, Erik. Well, to cap off this amazing episode of Drafting the Magic, by the way, if you haven't already, click subscribe, ring the notification bell. If you're not following us on Instagram, what are you doing with your life? Come on, let's go, people. Then you can answer the Drafting the Magic question of the day. Then you can be on the show.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Regardless, to finish it off, something that we kind of let go, we had to let it breathe off that giant tiebreaker round between Carthay Circle Restaurant and Lamplight Lounge over at Disney California Adventure is the Drafting the Magic This or That Summertime Showdown. We're going to the round of 8. Here we go. What were you about to say, by the way? What was that?
I like how your audio fades out when you do that.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that, but that's probably just the computer trying to control everyone's ears, make sure that no one dies. Regardless, we have our 8 matchups here, Erik. Or is it 8 matches? That can't be right.
8 matchups. No, you're
This isn't the final 8. This is the round of 16, isn't it? Am I... 1, 2,
right.
3,
so it's the final 8 matchups. There's 16 left.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, I thought it was 8 teams. I'm just bad at math. Regardless, well, let's start over in the final 8. Except it's not that, so I should probably stop reading that line on my notes. Let's go to the resorts, Erik. We have a grand matchup in store. Had to do it. Sorry.
We got our coast to coast head to head battle here. Grand Floridian #1, Grand Californian Hotel and Spa #4. They were going to meet eventually. It was going to happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're the best on each coast, according to, ChatGPT. So, regardless, it's interesting. Do you lean one side or the other here, Erik?
I do, but it's me.
All right, fair enough. I lean Grand Floridian, but I don't think it'll win because I think you'll see in the next couple of matchups that we have here. This is a very much a Disneyland crowd, and there's a couple of people in Florida that listen to us too. Regardless, the other resort matchup, Erik, the Polynesian and Animal Kingdom Lodge, two of the best resorts highly regarded at Walt Disney World, for very different reasons, but the theming of both are phenomenal. I'm actually excited for this matchup.
Would you agree we got the top hotel in California and the top 3 in Florida?
Yes, probably.
I would say by consensus, not necessarily your own opinion.
Yeah, I would say yes, probably. Also,
yeah,
according
so
to ChatGPT, because we got 1
and
through 4 here.
Yeah.
I
think Animal Kingdom Lodge will prevail.
All right, Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Even though Polynesian has my favorite restaurant of all time.
Polly's my favorite. Like, Polly's the one resort. Granted, I've stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, so maybe that's a skew, but I've always wanted to stay at Polly since I was a kid. Like, we would go there.
Same.
We would swim at the pool before they became. I'm not going to say that word. Before they became very strict on pool hopping at the resorts, but we would go to that pool, the volcano water slide, the coolest thing. So I've always wanted to stay at Polly. So Polly's one of my favorites. But we'll have to see. Meanwhile, in attractions, Erik, Disneyland kind of technically reigning this, although one of these attractions is also at Disney Hollywood Studios. The first one, a #8, makes it up to the round of 16. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disneyland taking on the #4 seed Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, which of course is both at Disneyland and at Disney Hollywood Studios. An interesting matchup of nostalgia versus new. You'll see a trend on the next one about that too, but this is an interesting matchup when you line these two up head to head.
Yeah, it really is. Big Thunder Mountain with the big upset, taking out the 1 seed. So you brought it up. Is it going to be the big and fancy, or is it going to be the old and nostalgic?
Yep. Speaking of old and nostalgic, the next matchup, EP, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. I almost said Mission Breakout, which is the #3 site, taking on Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. I had a feeling that this one would get a long way just because it's such a culture thing around it. But holy smokes, the 7, which you'll learn in just a few moments, isn't that big of a deal compared to some of the other picks that made it into this round. But a 7 taking on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, it's got a lot of hype around it. So we'll have to see on this one.
There's a real chance we could see a 7 versus an 8 in that final.
That'd be wild.
It would be the wildest.
Okay. All right. This one is nuts.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. This is insane. I don't think anyone saw it coming, although I don't disagree with it. But I thought Happily Ever After was shooting big when it was able to defeat Cinderella's Castle. That's the #9 seed. It takes on the #13 seed Ornament Valley.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. It defeated Expedition Everest, which, they're both mountains, different looking.
They're both mountains.
One has snow, one will never have snow. But regardless, Ornament Valley sneaks its way in here, and this is Erik, you and I talked about it. You think Ornament Valley might sneak its way into that 8?
Yeah, I do. I
good. It's not.
I think they pushed through to the regional final, if you will.
Yeah. Well, why not? I think Happily Ever is good. I don't think it's that amazing. So hate me online if you have to.
I agree with you, actually.
It's good. It's a good show.
It's fine.
I don't think it's not Wishes, that's for sure. Regardless, we move on to the next one. Piss me off, knock out my world of color. Fantasmic from Disneyland takes on Sleeping Beauty Castle, which is the number 2. That was actually what beat out World of Color, was Sleeping Beauty Castle. So interesting here of Disneyland Show versus Disneyland Landmark. Where do you go in this one?
Castle.
You say Castle. I'm guessing Phantasmic wins.
Really?
That's my guess. But I'm been wrong plenty of times before, so I'm not saying take it to the bank.
That's what we do around here.
It's no Cars 4, but but you know. And then finally, Eric, in the restaurants and eateries category. This is so dumb. I'm sorry. I mean, you guys are all great. You guys made great decisions, and I'm proud of you. Be Our Guest Restaurant, the top seed in that region, taking on the number 4 seed Blue Bayou Restaurant. It's not that good. Neither of these places are known for their food. They are known for the atmosphere around them. I think a weird matchup for a 1-4, but
it is
what the people wanted, Eric.
It is, yeah. And I think we might get an all Disneyland final here.
All Disneyland final. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that just means that I think Blue Bayou will win, because the other matchup is all Disneyland. So
yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, one of them's not. One of them's Disney California Adventure. And let's look at it.
Yeah, whatever.
The number 3 Carthay Circle Restaurant from Disney California Adventure, etching out Lamplight Lounge in a tiebreaker revote.
Yep.
Thanks to everybody for participating on that. That was something we were not prepared for. And also, somehow New Orleans Square has 2 restaurants in this freaking thing. Cafe Orleans, the number 7 seed, the last one in here. I really can't believe
it's all because of the Monte Cristo, and we all know it.
Yeah, I guess.
It's so good.
I wouldn't know. I've never had it. I've never been there. I've never been there.
And I'm not hammering you too hard on it, because there's so many more things I haven't had, and it wouldn't be fair for me to do so.
That's fair. You're not wrong. But I think this is a weird matchup. But those are the 16 that are left remaining, voted on you, the fans of Drafting the Magic. So a big thanks to you. We will get this vote going. I believe we have set it up so that this vote is Friday and Saturday of this week. So that is Friday the 26th and Saturday the 27th. There's going to be a matchup from each region, one on Friday, and then a matchup from each region on Saturday. And then we will jump into next week, where we go to that 8-round match that I thought we were, or that the last 8 remaining. I thought that was this week, but I'm really bad at math. And so that's what we're doing here. Eric, got any lasting thoughts from this amazing episode of Drafting the Magic Beyond the Draft, only available here on YouTube?
Oh, that was it? Oh, I thought there was more. Yeah, I'm excited to see these go down to the final 8 and get to our quote unquote regional finals, because those winners, that's where things really start to get, when we get down to the last 4. It's like, what do you prioritize? And that's what I'm interested to see from our viewers.
Food.
What do you care most about? The attractions, the food, the entertainment, the resorts, where you stay. So that'll be fun. I love your conspiracy theories. Obviously, only one of them will be able to find out the answer, and we're only maybe a couple of weeks away from figuring that out.
Are we going to do a live react to the experiences?
We might have to take it easy with the live.
All right, fair enough. You're not wrong.
We could.
We might. We're going to leave it to the people. Do you want to see us live react?
Don't do that.
All 2 of you can vote.
They're going to say yes.
All 2 of you can vote.
Nobody's going to say no to that.
There needs to be at least 1,000 votes yes for us to do it.
Because if we go live, they're going to be able to comment on things, and then we could read it on the air, which would be cool.
That would be cool.
But where would we go live? Instagram?
We would go live on Instagram or on YouTube. And we would go live on YouTube or Instagram from the parking lot of the Honda Center. No, I'm kidding. We're not doing that. But
yeah, especially because there is no parking lot at Honda Center anymore. They're all
from
gone.
The parking lot of the restaurant across the street, who has not giving us sponsorship money, so we are not advertising them.
They're gone, by the way.
Never mind. They're not even there.
They don't
anymore.
exist anymore.
Well, that's why they didn't sponsor us.
I found that out last week, by the way.
Oh, rest in peace, JT Schmitz.
They've been gone since like May.
Holy smokes.
From what I was told.
Oh.
Maybe March? I don't know.
Well, then we'll be broadcasting live from the parking lot down the street from Honda Center in the insert name here restaurant. If you didn't hear their name, they refused to sponsor our show.
And if you did hear their name, thank you so much for your sponsorship. And we'll see you next time also.
No one's sponsoring the show. Anyway, oh, wait, before we go, got to talk about my shirt. You guys have all seen it before. We've done this before, but I'm wearing the Cosmic Tour shirt from the Main Street Dudes. Follow them at MainStreetDudes on Instagram. And then, of course, go over to their shop on the corner of Main website. Fantastic options there. Erik, they are releasing new ones every single time. And I'm like, I need to buy more shirts for this show, I think.
Let me tell you how good these guys are. I was with a friend the other day, and I was telling her the story of how we got the shirts, right? Mm-hmm. And before I could get the story out, she said to me, "Is it the Main Street Dudes?" Already knew. Not from watching our show, just already knew who they were.
Household name.
And what they do. Household name. They do good work.
They do great work.
Yeah.
Make sure you get me a t-shirt while you're at it. If you want to send one in, send it to our Drafting the Magic mailroom, which does not exist currently.
Nope. The only way we'd get it is if you send it directly to our houses, and I'm not giving that out.
So Erik's address is... Maybe not. Regardless, Erik, a big thank you to everybody for watching this show. Make sure you like the pod. Make sure you go over onto Spotify. Even though we're not releasing these shows on Spotify, we are going to release our episodes in audio form, at least possibly video form. We'll see on Spotify when we get back to actually drafting the Magic. So make sure that you are subscribed on there. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, hit that notification bell so that you always know when Drafting the Magic is dropping a new thing. We've been doing these premieres, super cool that you get to kind of watch with us, and we'll be on it. We'll talk and interact with you. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. You should do it. You should be a subscriber, but also like us on Instagram, Facebook, X. Make sure you find us on the TikTok. Make sure you find us on the Speak Pipe. Still waiting to hear any of your beautiful voices on the Speak Pipe. We've had a couple that we've said no to. So that's not important. We'll talk about that another time.
Is that true?
No, moving on.
Okay. I was like, what?
No, I promised the people that I would read or I would play. And actually, I haven't checked it. So maybe there's been 1,000 of them. Who knows? I'll have to look. And if you did, we'll play it next time. But EP, another episode of Beyond the Draft in the books. And more and more excitement about this company, and that's what we're here for. We're here to, we love it. We love this stuff. We want to see it thrive. I forgot one thing.
Yeah. People got to follow us individually on all those platforms. And do you know where you can find the handle? Right there.
No, right here.
Right there.
Right in front of you. Do it right in front of you.
Right there?
Yeah, right there. That's.
Right? Is this good?
I forgot to do it last time, so it's just.
Just cut that part out entirely.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I left it there. So everybody knows what we're talking about. Regardless, like and subscribe to this handle and that handle.
There we go.
Wherever he is. Regardless, like
Magic
and subscribe, and we will see you next time.